Hi, and welcome to another section that talks about maintenance, performance, and security. Why this section is very important. This is one of the major reasons why I really like people to pay attention to this section. It's just like building your room or having a room and forgetting to put the window and the door. And you have expensive things inside the room, or you have precious things. It could be your working computer, it could be your jewelries, it could be your expensive clothes, it could be your shoes, and you do not have door or window. What do you think will happen? Anyone can just jump in, pick whatever they want without any restriction, and they go out. You can notice that there's still no door next time. They'll still come in and pick whatever you have till everything is done completely. Same with a WordPress website. After building a beautiful WordPress website or a very robust classic WordPress website, and you don't put your security measures, you're not maintaining it, it's just the previous example I've given. It's just like opening a window for everybody to do whatever they want on the WordPress website. So for us not to have that happening on our website, I am going to be showing you what are the things that you need for you to start protecting your website from hackers, or from your WordPress site crashing, or from it not being updated properly. And one thing with all this updating is that if you not update some plugins and things, there might be bugs or loopholes that can be explored by script kiddies or hackers or whoever that wants to just play around your site and see if there is a loophole. So let's head to our WordPress dashboard. But before I head here, so these are the plugins we'll be using. I'm going to be showing you how we'll be using it. So if you have internet connection, you can just search for security, or if you know the plugin that you want to use, you can just search the plugin name directly. So but if you don't really know, if you just search security, you can see tons of security plugins, WordPress, all-in-one items, there's Sukuri, there's a lot of them, but the one I'm going to be recommending, I recommend WordFence, iThemes, there's Sukuri also. Yeah, there are a few of them, but if you have internet access, you can just click on install now, and it's going to install this plugin to your WordPress dashboard or to your WordPress site directly. But installing doesn't mean that you have set everything. You need to do some manual configuration. But if you are using the practice folder, you can click on upload plugin. You can select the plugin. So the one we're going to be using is iThemes. So but the name is better WP security than the previous name. So we're going to click on install now. It's going to take some seconds or some minutes to install, so let's wait till then. It's installing it. Few more seconds to go. Voila, so here we are. It's installed successfully. So we're going to click on activate immediately. Alright, so as you can see, after activating it, it has created a new button for us, or a new menu here. By the left hand side that says security. So we're going to click on this security. Awesome. So as you can see, we're welcome with a dashboard that says that give us an overview of what the security plugin will be doing. It's going to ban users that are trying to log in into your site. It's going to be doing database backup, brute force attack protection. So if anyone is trying multiple kind of attack to be able to get access to your site, this plugin is going to block it. The plugin also sets a protocol for putting in strong passwords. So if you're using a weak password on your site, the plugin is going to make sure that you get to set a very strong password in WordPress tweaks. So let's just click on this. So you can only check this if you have the license, the pro license, but just leave that and let's click on secure site. After clicking on that, it's going to ask you for your email address. So I'm just going to use a dummy email address, but if you have your real email address, you can use it there. And I'm going to click on activate network brute force protection. Okay, so because I'm using localhost, this is not going to be activated. But if you are using a live site, this is a localhost. If you're using a live site, you'll be able to click on this and it's going to work. So we can run site again. Let's see if it's going to work. Awesome. So this is just for the security. This is just for sending emails and notification of things going on in your site. It will automatically notify you. But because of the local server, I'm using that right now, identify, but it has check our site and see if there's identify loopback IP or banned users, backup that everything it has been set for. So we can just close this and check other settings here. So with time, you're going to be getting more familiar with this, because this is not a security tutorial alone. This is like how to build a WordPress website. So I'm just going to scan through a few of them. And so I recommend you checking this. What this means is that if there is any addition or subtraction to your WordPress files, plugin themes, or the core WordPress file, this plugin is going to notify you. That's what it means, file change detection. And we have our database backup, it has been set. We have our banned users, some of it has been set by default. So if you are using a live site and you have SSL set on it and it's not working properly, you can enable your SSL. But I can't really enable the SSL right now because I'm using a local server. Although I think in the future I'll be having a separate tutorial that talks about live server. I'll be building everything on the live server, so that's another tutorial. So SSL is more of like all this secure communication between your client and the server. So whatever you're sending across, it's going to be in encrypted format. Although this is a little bit technical, but that's just an overview of it. We have a lot of settings, but some of them are premium, so you have to buy the license for you to be able to use it. So if you really need advanced feature, you can get the license, but technically the free one also does a lot of awesome work. So that's it for this. There are more things, but with time you're going to be getting familiar with this. So there are a lot of plugins, security plugins, as I've said, but it's not really advisable to be using 3 to 5 security plugin on your website. It can be causing conflict. Just choose one favorite security plugin you love to use and you're good to go. The next thing we'll be talking about is two-factor authentication. So I'm going to explain what that means. What two-factor authentication does is that after entering your username and password, by default, if you enter your username and password on Instagram or Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, or whatever social media network that you want to use, it goes to your account directly. But what it does is that the moment you enter your username and password, instead of it going to your account or your profile, it stops again, then brings out another interface and asks you for another random generated code from your mobile app. It could be a key, or it could be sent to your email, or it could be your Google Authenticator or OneAuth, it could be whatever. So what that means is that you are now having another layer of security, making it two check of security before getting into your website. We have the username and password, which is one check, but let's assume someone knows your username and password, but so they are going to encounter another check. So the second check is that of the random generated code. So let me show you how to do that. If you have your internet access also, you can just search for two-factor. Once you search for two-factor, there are some premium security plugins that come with two-factor, but if your plugin doesn't have two-factor, you can just you can just you can just you can just search it online and search for any two-factor and install it. So I want to install this one. So I've been using the previous method of installing through file directory, so I'm going to be using this one. I'm going to be clicking on this because I have internet connection on this one, but if you don't have, just go to the file directory if you're using the practice file and pick up the two-factor. Awesome. So I've installed it. I'm going to be clicking activate. So the moment you click on activate, this is a plugin, it's now activated. You can go to your profile. That's where you're going to set it. Let's go to profile. So under profile, you're going to scroll down and we have your two-factor option. So this is where the interesting part comes in. You have a way that if you're logging into your site, after entering your username and password, you can set that another code should be randomly generated and to be sent to your email address. So this is the email address I'm using here, so you can set it. So where is set? So the moment you click that, you can update your profile, or if you want the one that you're going to get the random generated code without internet access, you can use your mobile app. So we have different applications like Google two-factor authentication, Google two-factor authentication. There are several of them, but one of the most popular one is Google factor authentication. There is another one, I can't remember the name. So you can use all of them. So let me show you how Google two-factor authentication look like. So this is the icon, so you can go to Play Store and download it. Very easy. So let me locate Play Store. So you can download it from your mobile phone. If you're using iPhone, you can download it. If you're using Android also, you can download it. So as you can see, it's already installed on one of these Android phones. So you can just download it and scan this code. Once you scan this code, it's going to generate a code for you and you can enter it. I'll advise you should all try it. You should all download it. So if you want that option, if you don't want the email on, you can just click this option and you're good to go. The moment you do that, you can just click on updates. So there are other methods like this Fido. It requires HTTP connection with backup generation of code. You can use any of them, but the two I recommend that you play around these ones. But when you're getting advanced, you can start using these ones, or you can start exploring it now. So that's it for the two-factor authentication. And the last one I'm going to be touching is updating your core WordPress files, the themes and the plugins. This is very important. I really emphasize on this. Try and always update your plugin. Now the beauty is that you don't even need to be coming all the time. We have automatic updating. But in case your WordPress site is not updating your plugins and the files automatically, you see this circle here, you click on it. That's where you're going to be updating your plugins, your files, whatever you have to update. That's where you're going to be updating it. So click on it. The moment you click on it, so this is the section for the plugin, so you can update your plugin here. So I'm going to click on update. So sometimes when you're updating your plugin, remember, do not update your plugin or your WordPress core file when people are actually using it, especially if you have an e-commerce WordPress website. Do not go and update it when people are making purchase. It can make their transaction fail. It can terminate whatever they're doing. So I advise you should find a time that people are not really using your site, just quickly update it. Sometimes if you set it to auto update, that's fine also. It can automatically update it probably when people are not really using it, but just be careful. If you have a simple site that people don't really visit almost every day, or it doesn't carry out transaction or all sorts of important things, you can update it anytime, but be careful of when you update it. Make sure that people are not really using it, maybe there's no transaction going on, and update it. So I've made mention of why, I've given the reason why you should update your plugin. It's very important because there are loopholes, there are bugs, there are errors that have been found in the themes or plugins or the core WordPress files. So updating it makes you have the recent version of all the corrections that has been made. So the plugin is updating, it's almost completed. So I'm going to give you another real life example of why you should be updating your plugin. Let's say your window or the door to your room is falling. What are you supposed to do? You're supposed to call a welder or someone that is going to come and fix it, right? So if you do not fix it, remember there's a window there, right? But if you do not fix it, what will happen? Someone can just come, push the window aside and enter your room through the window, or if it's your door that is breaking, or the padlock, or the what is to call it, that hole that you you turn it, I've forgotten the name, the key jammer or whatever. Let's say the door is having issue. Remember, there's a door to your room. That's fine. You know, the first time we say if there's no door, but now there is a door, but the door is almost failing, like it's almost falling or it's breaking, that someone can just easily come and get into your room without much loop without much blockage. So that's how it is for updates. If you are not updating your WordPress files, the security plugins, the themes, other plugins like Elementor, someone can just come and break the WordPress website and get into it easily. So there are two more to go that we're going to update. Remember, you can update your plugins, you can update your core WordPress files. We have differentiated core WordPress files and themes. So the next one I want to update right now is your theme. So you need to update your theme. So these are two themes we have to update. Although I deleted this one, but let me just show you how to update themes. You just click on update and it's going to push all the new updates from the new server. Remember, you need internet access to update this. I have my internet connection here, so you just have to have internet connection for you to be updating your WordPress plugins, themes, and core WordPress file. However, our practice is local server. We'll be going to a stage where we'll be uploading our site to the cloud. Wherever you are in the world, you can check your site. So we'll be looking at that later on, how to get your domain, because no one can visit your site if there is no domain. A domain is just like a unique address to that website. So that brings us to the end of so before I round up this, there is one more thing that I like to introduce to people, but because our site is not live, we might not be able to do that. But in the future tutorials that I'll be building a site live on the server, I'll be showing that. What that one does is to check the speed of your website. So you can use something like trying to recall the name. You can use something like G metrics text. Is that what it's called? GT metrics. Okay, GT metrics. Yeah, so you can use sites like this to check the speed of your website. You can check the speed of your WordPress website to see how it's loading. You can just enter it here, whatever site you want to try. So you can use this one to check the speed. So that's the performance, for you to know how long it takes for your site to load. So one more tip again for your performance, it's plugins. I do not advise people to be loading a lot of plugins to your site. It can really cause the site to be slow. Get to use limited plugins, as small plugins, as little plugins as possible. Don't be using 50 plugins, 25, 30 plugins. For God's sake, why using up to that number? Although the site can get more robust, that you need more plugin, but I'm not advising to be using a lot of plugins. No, please, doesn't make sense. Try and use limited plugin. So before I forget, there is one very important thing here. Some people recommend enabling auto update for your plugins, while some people do not recommend it. But me, I am going to say it's pretty awesome enabling auto update, but there is the merit of it and there is merit of it. The merit part of it, that's the disadvantage part of it, is that there are some plugins that might not support the recent update of the WordPress file, that's the core file, or there are some plugins that the recent update of some plugins might have conflict with some themes, or with some plugins, or with some files. It might have conflict, but they are putting measures in place that it has to check first before it update. So there is no much issue anyway enabling. Also, instead of you coming all the time to that cycle and be updating the plugin, you can enable auto update. What enable auto update means is that whenever there is a recent update to that plugin, it automatically updates itself. So I have all these ones. I can enable all of them one by one, or I can enable all of them at once. I'm going to check this box. As you can see, I check all these box. I'll click on this drop down and I'll click on enable auto update, and I will click on apply. So the moment I click on apply, as you can see, all the plugins are automatically updated. So this brings us to the end of the security maintenance and performance part of the WordPress website. This is the foundation, like the basics of it. There are a lot of advanced stuff on security alone. Sometimes I offer the security as just a service alone. That's to know how robust it can be. Then we have the backup section, which I'll not be doing here. So the backup section is how you can update your how you can back up the whole WordPress file. So let me just quickly brush that. We have add new, and we have a lot of plugins that can do that. We have updraft plus. So you can download that plugin and learn how it works. So there could updraft. So there's a tutorial on it, how you can use the updraft alone. So this is a wow, why is it not showing? So let me just search for backup. So yeah, so this is a plugin updraft plus, so you can install this one and start backing up the whole WordPress file, learn how to use that one. We have Duplicator. This one is also awesome too. You can duplicate. What Duplicator does is that it clones the whole WordPress web file for you, including your theme, plugin, every design you have done, and it backs it up for you on your local computer. The beauty of this one is that you can back it up to your Google Drive or Dropbox or whatever cloud storage you want to do. So that's the end of this one. So you can keep learning more about security. I'm going to be having more in-depth security tutorials in my YouTube channel later on in the future, or later on. That's why you should subscribe to my channel so you'll be getting all this. WordPress is about learning every time. Keep updating yourself. You can't just say you're going to learn everything at once. You keep learning it. These are things that I've been learning for over 5 years, getting to 7 years as at the time of recording now. So I have been learning, I am still learning, and I'm going to keep learning for me to be building awesome WordPress website and to be protecting WordPress website. If you have any question, you can head to my channel. Depending on where you're watching this, head to my YouTube channel and drop the question or your comment for me to know what I'm doing well, what I'm not doing well. I'd love to hear your feedback, and that makes me do better tutorial for you to watch and learn. And love you all. Take care. Bye.